This podcast is brought to you by you, the listener. And if you want to support the podcast, you can go to aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Show your anime addict spirit over at aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon. And now, time to start the podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aaapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Run it. 1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is where you are. This is the 629th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. My name is Caroline, and here today we got Mason, as always. Hello, Mason.
Hello, that's me. I'm in a new place because I'm helping friends move, and that's why everything is like this. But, hello.
Sporting a beautiful hair braid. Oh my goodness, amazing.
Thank you. This is the last day. It's about to get cut. T-minus 4 days, so we're braiding it up just for Twitch. So people really are getting the full visual experience. We got the Tesla Note poster. We got the hair braid. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so appreciate it.
Did you do that braid yourself?
I did not. One of the roommates I'm helping move. We tried pigtails. We tried the Princess Leia, bobs.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough hair.
We settled on the anime mom to one side braid. So
okay, hopefully you don't meet the fate of the one side hair anime mom hairstyle.
I hope death awaits me by the end of this episode.
Well, thank you very much for coming here today in spite of your potential death. Hello, Mitsugi. You have no hair. Sad.
I'm the antithesis of Mason. You know, if we were doing like a good guy, bad guy action movie, I would surely be the villain, and Mason would surely be the tall, dark, and handsome, well groomed man with this beautiful braid. And then I'm just like,
whoa.
Evil.
Good cop, bad cop. I thought we were doing bad cop, worst cop. I thought that was our routine. And then Caroline's the good one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What is
that
the
works.
plot of this movie you are spinning right now?
Anyway, so I'm here in the house. I have a 7-Up. I'm enjoying it very much. And I'm wearing, just for people on Twitch, see, all of you plebes that are just listening to audio, you miss out. But Pancake bought me a Hachiroku Initial D shirt, so cue the Initial D music with Takumi's car on the front, and it says Hachiroku, so very fantastic. Nice. And
okay, anime I haven't watched, number 1 of the episode, Jelly Bean Eating Time. Wow. In case people don't know, I still have probably like 500 jelly beans I need to get through from Easter. And the rules, if you are not aware, if somebody makes a reference of something that I am not familiar with, somebody mentions an anime I haven't watched, if there's an inappropriate comment, most of the time it's from Mitsugi, and a fitness reference, most of the time it's either one of those guys. So
I love boobs.
First jelly bean of the day.
Mitz, I thought you weren't a big fan of 86. Why would you get that shirt?
I'm a big fan of boobs. I'll tell you that. Pancake got me the shirt. It's fantastic, so I'm enjoying it very much, and I'm wearing it just for you, Mason, specifically.
No, nice. Thank you.
Because you always are wearing anime shirts, so I just felt left out. And call me.
Okay. I forgive.
Call me in 9 months when you finish all those jelly beans. Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, I know. I have no idea when this is actually going to be finished. Who knows what might happen in that time.
When's your next dentist appointment? Just to derail this intro as long as possible.
Good question, but I mean, I Listerine. What more can they want from me?
Doesn't do anything.
Floss? Do you floss?
You need to be flossing.
Yes, I do floss.
Okay, we're good then. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
She's got her routine. She's good.
I got it. It's all good. And let's talk about what people can expect from the AAA podcast. You can find us on our socials like Twitch, where we go live every Sunday at 5 p.m. EDT. We are on Twitter. We are on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Discord. There are so many different Discord chat rooms to choose from, and we wish you to join us because there's always something interesting happening in terms of discussion. And well, we also got our results from the listener choice poll for spring 2022. Mitsugi, take it away.
Yes, thank you. I donned my my old glasses so I can look extra studious while I talk about percentages. So we had a lot of participation in the listener choice poll this past week. Thank you very much. And we have the top 5 results from that. And of course, we will only be reviewing the top 3 anime, but let's kick it off.
Number 5.
So to my surprise, A Couple of Cuckoos came in 5th place. 16.1% of everybody who voted for A Couple of Cuckoos. So kind of thought that one would be in the top 3, but I was wrong.
How do you feel about it, though? Are you glad?
Well, it was a longer show, so I don't know that I really wanted... I don't know how many brain cells I'd have left after watching 8 hours of just moronic, like, situational comedy, but I wanted to watch that more than this next one.
Number 4.
Dance, Dance, Dance Soar coming in at number 4 with 17.2%. I just wasn't interested in watching ballet, so I can play Chopin's Grand Waltz Brilliant on the piano, but that doesn't mean I want to watch ballet, so... Again, I didn't think this one would even be in the top 4, so surprised by that. And the first anime that we will be reviewing on the podcast, and I am surprised about this.
Number 3.
Birdie Wing crept in there with 19.4% of the vote, so, just beating out Dance, Dance, Dance Soar by about 2%, so we will be reviewing Birdie Wing, which I'm okay with. It's going to be short. It's pretty mindless. It'd be an easy watch. Then number 2.
Number 2.
I'm not sure if Caroline's surprised by this, but with 22%, Love After World Domination.
I am so excited. I did not.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
Like, it's not going. Okay, so it is slice of lifey, and I don't think that it's going to be like the best review we've ever done. But it is so much fun, and I'm so glad that people actually love this show, and I'm not the crazy person here that actually likes it.
1 in 5 people voted for it, Caroline, and that was good enough. So, yeah. And then of course the obvious
number 1.
Caroline teed it up about as well as you could tee it up. 78%, yes, 78% voted for Spy Family. So
I feel guilty, but they know why I did it.
Well, some people are very unhappy with you that you
I know they're threatening to unionize against us in the Discord
chat. These people, they can't.
We are playing the system a little bit.
It's organized chaos at best on the Discord. They don't have the organization to do this. It was all like, oh, Aha-Ren's gonna, we're gonna end up watching Aha-Ren because Mitsugi, didn't like it. And what happened to Aha-Ren? It was like looking at the results, maybe 11th. So, good fucking luck with the unionization. So that's it.
What happened to Aha-Ren? I can't hear it now. It's too quiet. It's too quiet.
Yeah,
Nobody
nothing. That's right.
Oh, I got sunburn on my shoulders. I'm just now seeing this in their camera here.
So we will be reviewing Birdie Wing, Love After World Domination, and Spy Family on the podcast. Now, with that said, the Summer Waifu Wars is still taking nominations. If you want to nominate your favorite waifu for Summer Waifu Wars, you go to the website, AAApodcast.com, or you go to the Discord. You find the Waifu Wars section on the the right, the left, or whatever, and you vote. And you can nominate up to 10 waifu for the Waifu Wars. There's been a lot of people have already nominated. We're getting close to having enough, but I don't want anybody to feel left out. So head over there to the website, head over to the Discord, vote for your favorite waifu. And,
yeah, and I also just posted it on our socials as well. So if you're on Twitter or Facebook, I just put it up. So hopefully we get enough. Yes, so Mitsugi can feel spited against because he said that we were not going to be able to do it. He did not believe in the people, and yet we did it, or we're going to do it.
Yeah, well, the Discord was lacking very severely on nominations, and then when the podcast came out where we mentioned it, we doubled the nominations very quickly, so that changed my opinion. But I think I will probably have the bracket made by Thursday. So you have about until Thursday to do this, and then there will be a bracket. So that's about it. Back to you, Caroline.
All right, awesome sauce. So that is definitely something that we're going to look forward to. But in short term, we're going to be looking forward to what have we been watching, which is something that we do pretty often, like maybe once every month and a half or something like that. But even so, I don't think I'm going to be able to contribute much today. It's just not been a very anime-heavy time for me. But the other two will do it just fine. In addition to that, we have Does Mitsugi's Mom Know?, one of our favorite games on the podcast, and the review of In the Land of Leadale, which will certainly be even more exciting than the actual anime.
That'd be
a thing. Of all the anime this year, this was certainly one of them.
Yeah, it was definitely an anime.
It was an anime.
Well, before we get to that, let's head into our big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
Okay, we got some pretty weird news. So the Top Gun movie came out. I'm told it's awesome. I'm going to see it on Tuesday. I'm super excited. I'll be talking about it on Hobby Addicts next week, I am sure. So Tom Cruise made his first trip to Japan in 4 years to promote the movie. Because unlike most films in Japan, Top Gun Maverick has a simultaneous debut in both the US and Japan. So, of course, he's doing his promo thing. So, on Tuesday, there was a red carpet event held at the Osanbashi International Passenger Ship Terminal in Yokohama. And Tom Cruise was there. And the reason why this is relevant is because he gets greeted by a lot of fans and a lot of people from the press, including a group of girls dressed up as the girls from Uma Musume, or the Horse Girls. There were 4 voice actresses in the crew of Uma Musume that were there with microphones dressed up as horses to talk to Tom Cruise, because Uma Musume had, and what I think is very bizarre, a cross-promotional event with Top Gun Maverick, which, like, I don't know how the fuck that happens. And then I had read more about it. So there is a character named Mayano Top Gun, who apparently competed from 1995 to 1997, that was named after the 1986 pop culture movie Top Gun. So the character Mayano is a character in Uma Musume who has several aviation-inspired traits to her character design, such as having like a pilot's jacket and whatever. So people are very excited. The reason why I mention this is because the most awkward interview in the history of the world occurred. And I really encourage you to go find this interview. It's on Twitter. You can find it on Twitter. I found it on Sora News 24 because Tom Cruise...
the easiest way to find this is to subscribe to our content, and you get the show notes, and you get the links and everything right there. You don't even have to look.
Phenomenal, Mason. This is...
Sorry, plugging away over here.
This is why you make the big bucks. This marketing acumen. Unbelievable. So... yeah, so I'm going to play this audio clip. It's better with video, I promise you. So yeah, go on the show notes, go to Twitter, whatever you have to do. Tom Cruise is walking, and he's just like, you can just tell he doesn't know what the fuck to do when these this high-pitched gaggle of girls are talking to him, and they're like humming like a fucking hive of bumblebees. You gotta listen to this. I'm going to play this way right now. I hope it comes through clearly.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
We are Uma Musume.
He's like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, we can't hear it.
I can't hear anything that's me.
Sure, please.
Try it again.
He's just like totally stunned by these girls.
You
You can't hear it. Twitch can hear it.
Oh, okay. That's good. Sorry.
I had many years to think about it.
Don't listen to us.
Many years to work on it, many years to think about it. And I just wanted to make something special for audiences. Something that would bring a smile to your face and make
and
your
you beautiful
heart go like
horse
this
girls
and feel
with your
the
tails.
action and the romance and make a summer movie.
Anyway, go find the clip because he's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you, horse girls. Tom, as 60-year-old Tom Cruise, who looks way younger than that, by the way.
He kept up the dashing smile the entire time, so he knows what he's doing.
Listerine.
Well, as maybe the richest actor in Hollywood, I think he's pretty good at bullshitting by now. So yeah, pretty. The girls are cute. Tom Cruise is, probably cute too, but yeah, it's just wild. So anyway, go find the clip. That's all I got.
And go listen to Com Trues if you've never heard of that. It's like a synthwave chill wave band. Really cool stuff. Com Trues. Worth it just for the name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that it, Mitsugi?
That's it. You're up, Caroline.
Okay, because people might be excited to hear that yesterday, Saturday, if you're in the future, Kadokawa has unconfirmed that Konosuba will be getting a third anime season as well as an anime adaptation of Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world spin-off novel series. So if you're not familiar, the spin-off series is about Megumin and her Crimson Magic clan. So that will also be getting an anime. Now, the previous anime director, Takaomi Kanasaki, will serve as the chief director for the third season, with Yujiro Abe, who was the episode director for Kaguya-sama and The Great Pretender. He is directing the series. But you should also know that the sequel season and the spinoff will be done at Drive instead of Studio Dean or JC staff, who have worked on Konosuba previously. I'm not sure why. Hopefully it's a good move over. But I think that a lot of people are, regardless, very excited to get more of Konosuba.
I haven't seen all of Konosuba, but maybe I'll check out the spinoff. We may end up covering it. You never know. I mean, it's going to be popular. So
No, it's so many seasons deep. We're not going to review it, but we'll
it's a
talk about it.
It is a spinoff.
Nobody cares.
Oh,
I mean, people care, but people don't care about a review. That's my way of saying the movie was good of Konosuba. Check out the movie.
Mason's like, I don't really want to review this.
We don't need to review this.
And I do have one more piece of big news, Caroline, if I may.
Yep.
I am not wearing pants. I just wanted you to know that. Okay, Mason.
Big news.
I thought it was
big. Anyway, was that it, Caroline?
Yep. That's it.
My big news is actually not a troll this week. It's actually two little mini big newses that combine to make a massive big news. Two God tier manga are coming back from a hiatus of varying lengths. Obviously, far past the meme at this point, to the point of often being referred to as hiatus x hiatus. After years of departure, if you will, Hunter x Hunter will be returning.
Wow.
The manga just has been perpetually in limbo for many years, often going back and forth. It would come back for like a couple months and then go back on break. So teased with info that that 10 chapters worth of rough drafts are complete. Let's hope that it comes back with some staying power. Togashi has finally returned, and if you're like, Hunter x Hunter, like, who cares? That's old hat. Like, nobody cares. Well, I think you might be mistaken, because less than 72 hours after creating the Twitter to tease the return of a series, Togashi has gained well over 2 million followers, and it's probably growing rapidly. So, yeah, people still care. It's a massive property. People have been aching for it to return in anime form since the excellent, not sequel, but reamped version of it in 2011. Yeah, excited to hear it. Did you guys read any of the manga of this, or do you guys have any strong opinions one way or another?
I got nothing, honestly.
Okay.
I'd like to say that I've watched Hunter x Hunter, but I have not, and I've eaten a jelly bean for it.
That's okay. We forgive you. One day, maybe enough
I want
manga.
to. It's just I
more anime,
have no
which
time.
means it'll give you a perfect reason. Yeah, exactly. It's good though. It's very good. But honestly, even more than Hunter x Hunter, I'm excited for the return of Ichikawa's Land of the Lustrous manga, which has been on hiatus for about a year and a half. You get a PS5 and immediately you're like, I gotta play Elden Ring, and that's why it's been gone. Okay, I'm not saying that's why it's been gone, but rumored to be coming back in June of this year. I'm very excited for it seems it's kind of reaching the end, and if it reaches the end, maybe we can finally get season 2. And Land of the Lustrous is one of my favorite shows, definitely one of my top manga, and I'm very excited to see where it goes, because it's been rough without it, and it's been rough. What's going on in the manga has been extreme, to say the least, so I'm excited to see how that closes up. So, big manga coming back, very excited.
Do you think we're going to get more Hunter x Hunter anime if they're going to have more manga chapters?
Not for a while.
Boo.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice. But
All right,
I mean,
well,
I'm not up to date with the manga. I can't speak to it at all. I've like a little bit I've read, but it's a big shonen, and I feel like there's opportunities out there. Or maybe they'll just reboot it for the third time, and then do it with the new material. I don't know, but people love it, and good for them.
Okay.
All right. That was the end of our big news of the week, and now I believe it's time for our main podcast topic.
Yeah.
What have we been watching?
Yes.
Mitsugi, what have you been watching?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I rewatched most of Wicked City, and I've decided that it is more. Wow, what a strange movie Wicked City is. Wicked City is I believe it's from the 80s. It's either 80s or early 90s, but I think
it's late 80s.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check it if my internet ever decides to function correctly. But this is definitely a movie that I think of in the same sort of breath that I think of Ninja Scroll. So this movie came out in 1987. I think it's because Ninja Scroll came out, fairly in a fairly similar, period of time, and I think I was introduced to these movies in pretty close succession. So they're about 60 years apart. And Wicked City is way stranger than Ninja Scroll, and it's honestly way more objectionable as well, which most people probably don't remember. But, Ninja Scroll does have, it's got the rock monster scene, and then, the scene with rock monster plus girl, and then there's a lot of violence. But there is just really freaky, bizarre shit in Wicked City. So you get, honestly, you're going to be eating a lot of jelly beans, Caroline. You might as well just get them. I mean, it's Wicked City. This movie is almost a porn movie. And having watched it again recently, it's not intended to be porn. It's just that in the late 80s, they didn't give a fuck about what people thought, and they were just going to make whatever anime they felt like. And so this anime has all sorts of weird shit in it, including one of probably the most vivid depiction of a vagina dentata in any anime. Because the main character in Wicked City picks up he's like, first of all, Wicked City is about this this city, of course, that's like has a portal to the demon world located in it, or they're trying to break open this parallel dimension that most people don't know about, that one of them has demons in it, and there's this pact between the two worlds to maintain peace, but now there's this small group that's trying to break that treaty and open up the portal so that the two worlds collide or whatever. And there's this guy named Taki Renzaburo, who is a total pimp. I mean, he looks like the guy from Goku Midnight Eye, basically, without except for this guy has a shirt on under his coat, under his suit jacket. But he picks up this hot spider. They actually call her Spider Woman in the credits at a bar, and I don't think he knows she's a Spider Woman. I feel like he knows she's a demon, but I don't think he knows that she's aggressive, because he's such a trained fighter / demon hunter person that he would have to know. But there is a scene where he picks this hot Spider Woman up at this bar, and she looks like a normal human. And then while he's having sex with her, which they 100% show every bit of that, her limbs slowly start to turn into spider legs, and she grabs him, wraps herself around him, and then which he's not really cool with. And it's not until her vagina grows teeth and she tries to bite off his dick that he jumps away and escapes, and then kills her. Actually, I guess he doesn't really kill her. She climbs out the window and right down the side of the building and gets away. Anyway,
then just cool, neat. Yeah.
But this is not the weirdest thing that happens in this movie. There is a main character in this movie named Giuseppe Mayart, who's like a spiritual medium that can act as a host, the arbitrator for the treaty negotiations or whatever. And he's like a total Master Roshi perv, except this guy does get the action that Master Roshi wishes he got. And there's a scene in this movie where he's just having sex with all kinds of girls, and he's really he's 200 years old, so he's not exactly a young stud. And there's a scene in this movie where he's banging this Soapland girl. Actually, I think he's just kind of being washed by her in the scene, and then they start to make love or whatever. and she literally melts, and she melts her flesh into him. And like, it'd be like if you were hugging a giant melting like candle or something, and then the wax just started melting all around your arms and legs and ensnared you. And she's a demon.
That's hot. That sounds hot.
She's an assassin, and she wants to kill this guy. And so because the demons don't want him to exist because he's going to fuck up their plans. And so she literally melts her flesh so that his body goes into hers, and then she literally ensnares him, like turning herself into like putty almost. Totally fucking weird. This movie is awesome. It's full of crazy action. It's full of like sex and violence. If you are into like these weird, violent, Devilman Crybaby type, violent, sexy
Yeah, I was about to
shows,
say, it sounds like it.
You'll love this movie. It's been out forever, and it's on Retro Crush for free. So go check it out if you want to see it. It's just absolutely 100% rated R, maybe even beyond that. Be prepared and strap yourself in for a wild ride. Wicked City is pretty cool.
All right. Yep. Well, that was great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now, again, I did not really watch a whole lot of extraneous stuff over the past few weeks, which is ridiculous considering we've had quite a bit of time to do so. It's just that I, for whatever reason, could not really start or finish anything. So let's talk about Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 3, because that is airing right now. We are not covering it on the podcast because we don't cover Season 3s and above. But at the very least, I'm still enjoying it. Kaguya-sama doesn't really change across the seasons. Although I'd like to hope that we are nearing the nearing end of the conclusion of this of the story.
Are they a couple yet?
I think we're getting close.
No, of course not.
God.
But in the meantime, we got some other things happening. Like, they've been introduced in the show previously. Honestly, I can't really remember them all that much. But it's like two students that are in a relationship. They're all lovey-dovey, and they've asked Kaguya and Shinogami and all that stuff for advice in the past. And so one of the episodes, it's about them. They're still lovey-dovey. However, it introduces the friend of the girl in that relationship. And now she is a massive tsundere, and she is in love with her best friend's boyfriend. So, drama. So she is trying to enlist the help of Shinogami and... Wait, is that his name? Shinogami and Ishigami? I can't remember if I got the names.
Some shit anime would do.
That sounds right.
Yeah. It was just kind of strange because now I realize that their names are kind of similar with the Gami at the end, and I wasn't sure if I got those mixed up or not.
Well, it's Gane with like a E and
Shirogane. Yeah. Sorry, that's the mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the two of them are there. They're hearing out this girl and her frustrations with being best friends with the girl that is a girlfriend with the guy that she likes. And basically, she enlists their help in trying to help her break them up, which I'm like, oh, okay, that's not very nice. of the two of them to be on the side of this girl trying to break up these two people. So that's kind of a complicated thing that's happening right now. And also, there's this rapping episode, which I think I shared it with you guys. That is probably, if you're going to watch any episode of Season 3 Kaguya-sama, it has to be this episode. It's the episode where Chika says, motherfucker.
Caroline said it
multiple times, wow.
Yeah. And they bleep her out, but she still says it. And a lot of this episode is about Shinogami wanting to work on his rapping skills because he meets with Hayasaka, Kaguya's maid, and while she's in one of her disguises. Honestly, she's a really confusing character because she has so many disguises, you kind of can't remember how people know her and in which disguise.
Yeah, it's great. She's the best.
It's getting even more complicated by the episode. So they go to like a karaoke bar and as with a group thing, just with Shirogane and one of Hayasaka's disguises, and it unravels this whole thing about him wanting to prove to her that she can rap, even though he, like, everything he does creatively is absolutely horrible to the point where people are like passing out by the sound of his rap.
Which is fair because we knew he was terrible at singing in an earlier season, but this is next level.
So he goes up to Chica because Chica knows everything, and he's like, and trying to explain how he's trying to learn how to rap. And Chica's like, well, I've already taught you how to sing, and I already taught you how to dance, and that's like a combination of rhythm and singing. Surely this can't be that bad. And then she listens to it, and it's like the horribleness is multiplied. Like, she's like looking down, the biggest demon of all, because that's just how this all works. And so it ends up being how Shirogane asks Chica to help him learn how to rap. The thing is that Chica doesn't know how to rap. So Shirogane is giving Chica advice, and so that she can learn how to rap so that she can teach him how to rap better. That is the pretext of that part of the episode, which is a very hilarious concept. Eventually, by the end of the episode, they have one of those special EDs, kind of like the Chica dance, and it's just them rapping. And it's fantastic. And you gotta listen to it. So yeah, that's definitely the episode to watch. Overall, same old, but still same old good. And yeah, I, of course, in the middle of watching it because it hasn't been finished yet, but that is what I have been watching at the moment.
I'm gonna look up the Kaguya-sama Love is War hentai, the hentai pan period. Well, that's the only way I'm gonna get what I want. So.
What do you want, Mitsugi?
I want them to be a couple after 100 episodes together of constantly flirting. I mean,
I don't think you know how rom-coms work in anime.
It's the longest candle ever. Let it burn forever, because that's what's happening. Good Lord. The poor guy. So many blue balls.
I watched a couple things for this episode. The first one I want to talk about that Darth Rios just, predicted in the Twitch chat is the new 5-episode series that dropped on Netflix recently called Vampire in the Garden. This show essentially is just tacked up Destiny, but instead of Mighty Duck sequels as villains, it has vampires. Essentially, very same setup though. Humanity throws away art and music and culture and is like turning all military base to defend itself against vampires, which are laying siege to the last remaining human city for the most part. And these two characters, nearly perpetually whiny MC named Momo, and the vampire that takes a liking to her because she has a music box. They just go on a road trip trying to find a safe haven where the two of them can live together away from the war and the, disagreement that the two sides have, essentially. And it is not one of my favorites, that's for sure. It does some things well. The character designs are very simple, which don't lend to much visual splendor, but the backgrounds are really pretty and nice. And the design of the vampire is something we've seen 1,000 times in 1,000 different mediums. Look pretty savage. They look gruesome and frightening, and they have cool transformations. So they do that right. If you're going to do vampires, you got to do them justice. The problem is the writing and the plot of an already stilted story feels super jerky, and especially because it only has 5 episodes to tell it. It is making big jumps that are super predictable and super generic, and it all kind of feels lackluster. You've seen this played out 1,000 times because it's essentially like a same-sex version of Romeo and Juliet with love blossoming between different factions sort of deal. And if your romance is shallow, I just don't find it that interesting, even if I do commend the efforts towards representation. But it's Studio Wit, so I came in expecting a little bit more, but maybe just this is what Netflix gives you. Not much time, not much budget. A lot of things felt very out of place, including a dog and a CG car that was just so tonally whiplash-inducing that you were just like, why did a lot of this stuff make it in there? There's very little payoff to it. A lot of people did seem to be enjoying this in the Discord, but I guess the more I watched it, the best part about a show is that it's only 5 episodes long instead of 12. That's not really a good sign. So if you see Vampire in the Garden pop up on your Netflix queue, give it a shot if you want. But personally, I would say you could find a better 2.5 hours of your time. but people were excited about it, and I feel like seeing what Netflix puts out is important because, like it or not, that's sometimes how most normies, if you want to call it that, will see anime as being. That's what they have the easiest access to. So I feel like what Netflix puts out is important to how our media gets observed. So, wasn't a big fan, but it is what it is.
Okay.
And that's it.
Let me return from the land of debauchery. So I have I was watching an anime, and I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint of what it is. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast, too fast, too fast, too fast, too faster. All right.
I love how you went from Wicked City to this.
Any explanation. Sonic X. Sonic X is a anime that came out in 2000. Yes, I know. A very wide divergence between Wicked City and Sonic X. Sonic X being like G-rated, and well, we already talked about Wicked City. So I watched maybe the first 4 or 5 episodes of Sonic X, which I've learned in the last 10 minutes is very long. So, yay.
Long as in how many episodes?
78.
Ooh, that's an odyssey.
Very long and not
but
very good.
But you watch it on 2x speed, right?
No.
What? That's what Sonic would want from you.
Well,
you're letting your guy down.
That's true. He would want at least 2x speed.
At least you gotta go fast. That's what it says.
So back
on
instructions. Yeah. So Eggman has collected the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which is very bad news because it pretty much gives you superpower. But of course Sonic interferes with his plans, and it causes an explosion that sends everybody to Earth, which is not where Sonic's from. And Sonic and his friends team up with this 12-year-old kid named Christopher Thorndike to collect all of the Chaos Emeralds and defeat, Dr. Eggman. That's the entire plot line. So there's a note here that the first 52 episodes were on TV Tokyo, and then the last 26 were broadcasted together in Japan and the USA simultaneously. So, interesting.
Take that, Top Gun Maverick.
Pancake turned me on to this one because this is how she grew up with Sonic, was from Sonic X, whereas I'm extremely old and I played Sonic 1 on the Genesis. So, and it's okay. I mean, I love it because it's Sonic, but it's very... I don't think I could watch it for 78 episodes. It's very much like the WB, like Looney Tunes level, goofy... maybe a little better than that because it does have a storyline from what I can tell. But it does have all of your favorites. It's got Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, the Chows, Big, of course Dr. Eggman and all the robots. Cream, the rabbit is in it. Shadow, Rouge, all the characters are in there. So it does have everybody you'd want. It's just pretty silly, like Sonic goes to Earth and immediately there's like chaos everywhere because he's there, and it's like, oh, this alien or this thing is so fast, and then like the police call this special squad of like highway patrol, I guess, that are like race car drivers, and they're all about like being the fastest on the highway. So they put like all in this racing gear, it's like fireproof racing gear on their helmets, and they get inside of like these what can only be described as Formula 1 cars with like jetpacks on them. And they have like this testosterone-filled battle about who's faster, Sonic or these like race cars. And, Sonic, he's running on the highway and they're chasing him. And, he speeds up and laughs at them. And they speed up and catch up to him. And he's like, oh, you're so fast. And then he's just like talking to them through their windshields and goofing around. And then, of course, he runs out of runway on the highway because the highway's not finished. And he ends up falling in some kid's swimming pool, which, as you know, Sonic can't swim. So he sinks to the bottom of the swimming pool, and like...
Is it an above-ground pool?
No.
Or an in-ground pool?
In-ground pool.
Okay.
Your typical like rectangular-shaped in-ground pool, and Sonic is drowning, I guess, and then this kid comes out and saves Sonic. I guess he woke up in the middle of the night when, he heard the splash or whatever, and that's how this 12-year-old gets involved, and I guess he sticks around as one of the main characters in the show, even though he's just very like, I don't know. He's
a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, he doesn't look like an anime 12-year-old kid. It almost looks like Western animation, even though this is 100% Japanese. You have a question, Caroline?
Not question, but rather a complaint.
Oh.
Because, okay, we have Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is like a super-powered hedgehog.
Yeah.
So I find it ridiculous that something super-powered can't swim, but not only that. Apparently hedgehogs are great swimmers.
Are they really?
So how can we have a super-powered, great swimming hedgehog not know how to freaking swim?
Nobody in the world can swim with shoes on. That's just a fact.
That's funny.
If I took Michael Phelps, put on some Crocs on him, and push him in the pool, he's dead. He's as good as dead.
No
one can swim with shoes on.
I've swum with shoes on.
Doubtful.
You're absolutely right. The only thing I can tell you is, one, it's stupid, and two, Sonic can't really swim in the video games. He just drowns. Like, everybody knows that.
Do they do their hedgehog research? It took one Google question.
I don't know. It's Japan. They even have hedgehogs in Japan. I mean, hedgehogs also aren't blue. They don't spin and run really fast, and they don't eat chili dogs.
Please tell me, Mitz, you watch this show exclusively when you're eating Frosted Flakes.
In my footy pajamas?
Yeah, exactly. You come down, you're like, another episode. And like Pancake like puts together. She takes your limited edition Star Wars mug, your Mega Man X like spoon with the little like picture of him, and she puts it in, and she puts in 2% milk, and then you pour in your Frosted Flakes like a heathen, and you're like, I gotta go fast. Putting in cereal after milk.
I gotta raise my blood sugar fast. We need Frosted Flakes ASAP.
And then you watch 2 episodes of this, and you're like, this is the life. This is bliss.
With the cereal that turns your milk green or some shit.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I turned this on because Pancake told me the cutest story about her when she was a little kid. She said that she used to turn on Sonic X, and when the theme song would come on, she would run around the living room acting like she was Sonic when she was like, 8 years old.
That's pretty great.
And I was like, that's really cute.
She was all hocked up on that sugary cereal.
Something like that, yeah. So I can just see it. And so I may or may not be seen running around my bedroom acting like Sonic when the theme song plays. So I'll just say that, even though I'm 36. So
nice. We love to hear it.
Yeah, and it's not good. Unless you're an absolute diehard Sonic fan, this will absolutely not hold your interest for 5 minutes. So
it sounds like it's bringing you joy, though, and that's what it's all about.
I will give it a.
The theme song was great.
It's not bad, but I will say that I'm a lot more interested in watching Saint Seiya. So we will see how long Sonic X hangs around.
That's got another great OP.
And all the movies are on Retro Crush, but I don't think the series is on Retro Crush, which is horseshit.
Yeah.
All right, you're up, Caroline. I am done.
Okay. So today I would like to talk about an anime that we watched for Anime Club. Did not watch it all the way through because it's actually a little bit on the longer side. We watched like 13, 14 episodes of an anime called Dear Brother, which is something I've never, ever heard before until we voted it in for Anime Club. And I'm like, why did we vote this in? I've never heard of it.
Melodrama.
Yeah, it was the melodrama themed club. And honestly, this really fit the bill. I talked a little bit about it during our radio hour, but, I didn't really talk too much about it. So, Dear Brother, wait, have either of you, are you either of you familiar with Dear Brother?
Yeah, I've seen a fair bit of it. I need to get back and finish it.
I was too scared.
Too scared?
Yeah.
From what?
Well, it's anime, so I don't know what Dear Brother implies. Could be not good.
Okay, so here's what the anime is basically about. We got these 2 girls. They applied to go to this very nice high school, and it's like a kind of high school where you can wear like the clothes that you like. You don't have to wear a uniform, so they're all very excited. Like, oh my goodness, this is going to be the best 3 years of our lives going to this high school. And then they are engrossed with this world of the biggest bitches that you've ever met. They are the members of the sorority. And now we all know what a sorority is. It's a group of girls at a school, and they are typically cliquey, and they're typically all about appearances. And they are, I'm not saying that they always are. If you're part of a sorority and you had a great time, great. but oftentimes you don't have a great time in a sorority. So that is very indicative of this sorority and this school, where it's very prestigious. It's an organization where you get to meet very powerful people and you really set yourself up in the world. However, the application and the acceptance process is rigorous, and they find that the main character girl, Nanako, she has been selected to be a member of the sorority. But here's the thing. Nobody thinks that she is, or everybody else in the student body does not think that she is deserving of being in the sorority, because she doesn't really stand out. She's not beautiful, or like, yeah, they say that she's not that beautiful. They don't say she's that smart. She doesn't have a really incredible family background, yada, yada, yada.
Plain. And this is high elite level, like the cream of the crop only get into this.
Yes, that's basically what it is. And in typical Japanese school form, the most atrocious bullying occurs. So many slap fights, like so many slaps, so many. And she's just trying to survive now because she's part of the sorority, made up of very psychotic girls, and the psychosis is very varied in different ways. And she's just trying to survive school. And she also has this, it hasn't really gotten into this plot point yet, very much in the time that I've watched it, but she is writing to her cram school teacher. Now, she just, for whatever reason, just felt very attached to him when they first met. And so at the end of cram school, she had gone up to him and says, listen, could I write to you as if you are my brother? Can you be my brother? Which is weird. Very weird. When that happened, I'm like, ooh. It hasn't gotten too weird yet, because they also haven't focused on it too much, because the story's just being told through these letters that she's writing to him. And it's just, when I was first watching it, I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really interested in this. But then as it got deeper and deeper, and I'm like, this is actually really interesting. The drama between these psychotic girls and the secrets that are behind the relationships and their motivations. I'm not going to lie, some of the characters are better than others, and some of the parts are more interesting than others. But surprisingly enough, I think I'm going to continue it at some point. Nice. So it definitely looks its time. It's on the older side, but it's not that bad looking. It's just, you can tell it was made a while ago.
It holds up well.
Yeah. But it has all of the melodrama that you could possibly want, like the surprise poses and the ultra artistic style, like freeze frames and all that. But there was this really funny moment when one character like rips up a piece of paper. It's like all about this gossip about the main character that really upsetted her. So she tore up this piece of paper and like rolled it up in a ball, and she says, "This belongs in the trash," and she throws it at the main bully girl because she's the one that made it up. And I'm like, that's a very good joke I was not expecting to come out of this anime. So yeah, that was Dear Brother. If you're interested, you can go check it out.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely holds up better than you think it would for something that old. But it's super campy and melodramatic and a fun disaster.
That is it. It's a fun disaster. And again, at first I was not really into it, but then after like maybe 6 or 7 episodes, I'm like, oh my god, I cannot believe that happened.
Nice. Well, I've got a couple to talk about. Let's see. What should we talk about first? Let's talk about a show called Fairies Albums, which is a Chinese animation, also known as Donghua. And this is a show I would consider most similar to Mushishi. Obviously not as good, but it kind of scratches a similar itch. And it is 12 episodes long, and it's made up of 6 like 2-part episodes, so you can kind of watch them in pairs and sets. And it has a very similar routine where you have a traveling doctor who is, exploring the land, and she comes across some like struggling spirit, some supernatural entity who is dealing with some issue. And this doctor is abrasive and frank and just she's the right kind of asshole, you know? And she's pretty fun to watch. But like Mushishi, the story isn't about her, it's about the spirit that she encounters. And we kind of learn over the course of the end of the first episode and most of the second, like the backstory, what's ailing it, why they're going through the difficulty that they are. And then something usually happens at the end, it's resolved, and they move on to the next spirit in the next 2 episodes. And some episodes are better than others, but I pretty much always consistently found myself watching it. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I don't care about this. This spirit looks stupid or looks cartoony, yawn, boring. And then by the end of the second episode, I'm like, oh, this is so emotional. It was good. It was pretty good. I don't give it a strong recommendation, but if you are into like the Natsume Yujin shows or the Mushishis or stuff like that, it just has, you know, these nice little vignettes that pull on your heartstrings and make you a little weepy. So, Fairies albums, it's pretty neat, pretty cool. You can find it on Bilibili and for Dongwa. It's not bad. It's not as like crazy animated as like a Modao Zushi, but it's worth the recommendation if you like that style.
Okay.
I could go again, or Mitch can go if he wants.
I'm ready to go.
Lay it on us, because someone decides that right now is just an absolutely splendid time to mow outside. So go for it.
So this morning I watched 1 episode of Giant Gorg, which is a very old anime from 1984. It's got very charming animation. I believe it's a mecha show. I only watched 1 episode, so I didn't get to see the giant Gorg. But there's an island called Austral Island that's near Samoa, and it's been wiped out of all official records of its existence. However, 2 doctors have been studying this island, and one of the doctors gets killed, and he sends his son to this other doctor who's been studying the island, and he wants to discover the island and find out what's on it. However, there is an evil organization that does not want them to find the island, and so in the first episode, they've basically been trying to like bump these people off because the one doctor, whose name's Dr. Wave, he seems to know more about the island than really anybody else, and that's bad for this evil group that wants the island all to themselves. And so who's the main character, the boy, Doris, who is like, I guess who's related somehow to Dr. Wave, and Dr. Wave all make their way to this guy who's just simply known as Captain. And he just looks like this badass guy, like this badass pirate. He even has like a cross-shaped scar on his cheek, just like Kenshin. Although this like well predates Kenshin, so it's a 26-episode show done by Sunrise. And the giant Gorg looks pretty cool. It looks a little like the Big O, sort of. And I really don't know like where the plot line's going to go, but I know that the animation and the art and the character designs look very charming. They are definitely reminiscent of an older time. The characters themselves are pretty enjoyable. And so I might actually continue with this. I don't think it's dubbed, at least not on Retro Crush where I was watching it, but it is very old. So you know, if people are reluctant to go back and watch old stuff, I get it. It is very old. It looks about as old as like Future Boy Conan, you know, more or less, even though it's a little newer than that. But I'm gonna keep watching it a little bit because I kind of want to see where it goes. I know there's scenes of the giant Gorg, which is the robot's name, taking on like, you know, sea monsters and stuff like that in the opening. So it could be cool. I hope it doesn't end up being like Monster of the Week type stuff, but we will see what the giant Gorg has in store. Very strange.
This looks kind of cool. I might give this at least a couple episode watch.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I watched 1 episode this morning before I went to the gym. You know, crushed my gym workout. Got my I was doing my walking lunges for my quads. I threw that in there just to make Caroline eat more jelly beans.
I knew it.
and of course, but no, I can tell you right now though that no matter how many squats, bench press, whatever, no matter how much I do, I will never be more jacked than the giant Gorg. Okay, and he has.
Who would win in a fight, the giant Gorg, the Big O, or Gigantor?
I don't know. I haven't even seen the giant Gorg yet, so it's hard to say.
Okay.
So, but I'd have to assume Gigantor would easily defeat the Big O. So, probably. So, I'm just gonna say the Gigantor probably for now.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's what I've been watching. That's the last thing that I sometimes watch things and then forget I watch them. So there may be other things, but I don't know. I don't remember. So, Mason, you got one more for us?
Yeah. We don't need to talk about Summer Ghost. It's a 40-minute long movie kind of thing. It's whatever. No strong opinions on it. What I want to talk about is another Netflix show that was getting a lot of buzz. I'll go real quick. 10 episodes long, called Kotaro Lives Alone.
Oh.
This is about a 4-year-old that lives alone in an apartment complex. Yes, 4 years old is a little bit young, you might say, but it's anime. And the best way I can describe this show is hypnotically immersive.
Oh, wow.
So let's start with the bad. Front and center, no hiding it. This anime looks abysmal. This is bare bones, it is stiff, and it is without any sort of visual charm or flair. A lot of people will take one look and be like, I am not watching any more of this show, and that's fair enough. On top of that, I'd say half the episodes and characters are kind of just blah. They're lackluster, they're drab, and you're like, it didn't do much. It's not really speaking to me. But at its best, at its highs, it is a real good show. Touches on themes of like neglect, abuse, and like deceit, and the psychological effects that result from such actions, mostly in the parents and adults in Kotaro's life that are, not abusing him, but kind of, abusing him, or just looking down on him, or just treating him like a child, or just not being there for him, and how that turns him into the person he is. It's very tactful about it. It's very sentimental, and it's just humorous at times too. And it really does nail its emotions well. It pulls on your heartstrings, which is difficult at times, especially in anime. And this guy really is going nuts with this lawnmower. God, what are you doing out there, my dude?
Cutting grass.
He is. He's just zooming along. He's booking it. Anyway, it's a worthy watch for these like darker themes and touching on them briefly in a way that doesn't feel too campy or, haha, depression sure is something. Golly gee, it's time to say something like prophetic and leave it at that. Like, it does speak to you, but I think besides a couple real standout episodes, most of it I thought just wasn't enough to give it like a strong recommendation to people to watch it despite how it looks. So yes, for a very small slice of the anime audience, there is something special about the show that makes you immerse to it, and there are some great moments. But for most people, I think it's not really what they come to anime for. And I get that. So Kotaro Lives Alone, I'm glad I watched it, but it doesn't get a strong recommendation either. So that's it. A bunch of shows I thought were just kind of all right. What else is new?
Well, they can't all be winners.
Exactly. And now the guy, as soon as I'm done talking, he's like, oh, you're done talking? I'm going to stop for a bit. Yeah, so apologies. We'll try our best to fix it in post. Anything else before we head to a little news break?
I think we're good.
I got nothing.
All right. Let's give you a question then to keep you occupied. In the land of Leadale, what is the in-game level of the main character? And which number is she of the 13 skill masters? 2 questions, 2 answers, both numbers. Let us know what they are, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Hey, Anime Addicts, this is Mitsugi, and I'm bringing you your anime news break, starting off with a popular manga that's going on hiatus. The Police in a Pod manga is ending its first part here in June. The author Miko Yasu explained that she has other things that she wants to draw, and that is why she's temporarily putting The Police in a Pod on hiatus, adding that while her current work features a protagonist with a gun, her next work will feature a male protagonist with a sword that will take place during a certain historical period in Japan. It looks like Kodansha is going to be launching the final chapter of the first part of The Police in a Pod manga in this year's 29th issue on June 16th. So if you're a fan of this, enjoy that last chapter. It doesn't look like the manga is over, just on hold for now for new works to be allowed to be created. Next up, the opposite of the prior story, an anime is now coming back from hiatus. The manga Hoseki no Kuni, or Land of the Lustrous, very popular property, is returning from its hiatus and will resume in the magazine, the Afternoon magazine's August issue on June 24th. So you are losing a manga and gaining a manga, it looks like. The Afternoon began serializing this fantasy manga in October of 2012, and Kodansha published the 11th volume in July of 2020. So it has been a while. So if you are a fan of Land of the Lustrous, the manga is coming back, and in the meantime, if you haven't seen it, Studio Orange did a manga adaptation into a 12-episode television anime that came out in the fall of 2017. So it looks like Sentai Filmworks licensed this anime streaming, and it is now available online. High Dive also added the title to their catalog as well. So if you're a fan of that, look out for that manga coming back. Next up, a new anime coming out from an old property. Konosuba is getting a spin-off, Konosubarashi Sekai ni Bakuen o, titled An Explosion on This Wonderful World, a spin-off light novel. It looks like Takahashi and Aki Toyosaki returning to star as Megumin and Yuyun, respectively. The studio is going to be Studio Drive, directed by Yujiro Abe. So if you are a fan of Konosuba, this one's going to be coming out, and the synopsis is that the Crimson Magic Clan members, Megumin and Yuyun, are at the top of their class, but they still have a lot to learn. Yuyun began learning advanced magic, but Megumin has gone down a different path of learning explosion magic. Despite being warned of its limited uses, she believes explosion magic is the way for her to become a great, voluptuous wizard, and she won't be convinced otherwise. So, promo art looks very cute. If you're a fan of Konosuba, as I think most people are who have seen it, it's coming out. You're getting a spin-off here pretty soon. And lastly, Speed Racer is getting a new live-action series at Apple by J.J. Abrams. Variety and The Hollywood Reporter have been discussing this, that the anime Mach Go Go Go, or Speed Racer, is getting a live-action series at Apple. According to sources, Hiram Martinez of Snowpiercer and Get Shorty is the showrunner and is co-writing the series with Ron Fitzgerald of Westworld. Abrams is serving as the executive producer at his company Bad Robot. So if you are a fan of Speed Racer, this will be coming out as well. You'll be getting more Speed Racer live action with some pretty good names behind it coming out sometime in the future. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Lots of new anime, and now time to get back to the podcast. So, you're at the grocery store. Options at the sushi counter were a little thin. Spicy tuna rolls will have to do. But you know what else is a little thin? Your patience. You were listening to your favorite podcasts, but now all you're listening to is this little robot lady yap at you.
Place your item in the bagging area.
If only you had the AAA podcast's extra content, you wouldn't have even heard her talking to you over the sound of our Hobby Addicts, our hentai episodes, and our after parties. But now you're about to get arrested for assaulting Wally over here. Goddamn robot bitch. Little Billy's sitting at home about to go hungry while Mommy and Daddy are becoming somebody's new favorite down at the Slammer. Don't let little Billy go hungry. Head over to aapodcast.com/join our Patreon today and support the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Place your item in the bagging area.
Yeah, I'll put you in a bag.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
I I've been watching Inuyasha. I'm getting into it. I mean, honestly, Kagome is way too fucking good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kagome is cooler and cuter than 90% of anime characters.
She's fucking tough as shit too.
She's tough as shit. Her outfit kind of sucks. She maybe just draw some something different on Kagome once in a while, because she's running around in this fucking skirt and they're always hiking in the woods and shit, and she's gonna get her nice legs all torn up by these fucking tree branches and briar bushes and nettle and all this crap because you didn't want to give the girl some fucking pants. So I'm sorry, but thigh-high socks and a skirt doesn't quite cut it. She's not Sailor Moon. Put some fucking pants on her. She's cold, for God's sake.
I do kind of like Koga, the wolf demon.
He's the guy that Kagome needs to be with. He's so fast. She'd be like, "Oh, Koga, I'm the mother of your child. I need watermelon and pickles." And he's so fucking fast. Boom. That bitch is down the street to the 7-Eleven in 2 shakes of a wolf's tail, because that guy can run fucking fast. He's like Sonic. He can get anything Kagome needs in 2 damn seconds. He's gonna be running down the street, and he'll be running back, and he'll pass 16 girls he'll be holding watermelon and baby formula and all the shit that she doesn't need yet. And they'll be like, "See, I gotta get me a man like that." That's right, Kagome. You need to get you some Koga. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome back to the podcast. We had a trivia question. In the land of Leadale, what is the in-game level of the main character, and which number is she of the 13 skill masters? What a hard question. This had to be a Mason question.
I'm not saying.
Okay. Level 1,100, which I think roughly double the level of anybody else she encounters in that game. And she's skill master number 3. So.
Well, here's an extra question for you guys. Do you remember the name of her guild?
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's pretty stupid. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yep. And if you support the podcast, guys, remember one more time, you will get our exclusive RSS feed, which will let you access all of our exclusive content. Hey, we got our Hobby Addicts. We talk about movies. We talk about games, books, etc. All that good stuff. All the extra things that you probably do too. We talk about all that on Hobby Addicts. Then we talk about the hentai episodes. Some of you say, "Oh, I don't watch hentai." I don't believe you. We all know hentai is the number one searched porn term on Pornhub 5 years in a row. You're all watching hentai. Nobody watches anything else. I don't even know why anybody else bothers trying. So you get the Hobby Addicts, you get the hentai episodes, you get the after parties, all that stuff on your favorite podcast app when you join via aaapodcast.com/join. You get that RSS feed. So that'll be fun for you. Now, we are going to play Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? And I'm really hoping we have a player.
We do.
We have a player.
They're all ready to go.
All right. They're all ready to go, Mason says. So with that, I'm going to play the theme song. And we are going to play Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? So let's get right to it. It's time for Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show that pits Mitsugi's unassuming mother against anime's most basic questions. Now here are your hosts, the Anime Addicts. Whoa! It's time for Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show where my mother will do her best to stump you. She knows a little bit about anime, not too much, very unpredictable. And your job today is to predict whether or not she knows these simple anime questions. Who do we have playing today? What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Kyton, and I am in Alabama.
Ooh, Alabama. And how's the weather in Alabama?
Birds chirping in the background.
Hot. Yeah, I'm outside right now, so.
Oh, that sounds so pleasant.
So
It
natural. Let's make this very unpleasant for you and bring in the questions from
wow.
Mom Know.
Wow. All right, Kyton. Well, I'm guessing you already know how to play this game. I will be giving you 5 questions. If you can guess whether or not my mother knows the answers to these questions, if you can get 3 out of 5 correct, you will win a fantastic prize. It won't be really that fantastic, but there will be a prize that I will contact you later about. I hope you do win. Do you have any questions or anything you want to say before we get started?
Not that I can think of on the questions, and just think this will go quite well.
And how long have you been listening to the podcast?
Few years now.
Okay, well, I was going to say if it had been just a couple days or weeks, we would have given you the harder question set, but because you are indeed a loyal anime addict, we will give you the easier question. All right, here we go.
Good luck, lucky player. With me, it's you never know.
Here comes your first question. One season of anime, or one core, typically has how many episodes? We're looking for 12 or 13 here.
I'm gonna say she does know this because this is pretty common, and pretty much, with the exception of a handful, all of them go by the same thing.
All right, so you're saying my mother knows how many episodes are in a season of anime?
Yes.
All right. I wish you luck. One season of anime, or one core, typically has how many episodes?
20.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is usually it's 12 or 13. Oh my gosh. What is happening?
Not a seasonal watcher. So.
Yeah. Chitin, how are you feeling now? Is this like a Dempsey? Is this like a gazelle punch right to your face? Is your confidence shaken?
Not yet. I think
okay, he's feeling good.
That one you do have 24 episodes seasons, so that can kind of get confusing.
You're just splitting the difference, Rookie mistake.
All right, Chitin. Well, I don't want you to get too cold. Are you ready for question 2?
Yeah, let's go for it.
In Dragon Ball Z, a Super Saiyan typically has what color hair? We know the answer is blonde or yellow or whatever. But does my mother know? Mason's looking around like, I don't know.
This is gonna be hard because I don't know. I'm gonna say yes.
A lot of faith in my mom today.
Eventually you gotta be ready if you keep saying the same thing, right?
I hope so, for your sake. Am I locking you in?
Yeah.
In Dragon Ball Z, a Super Saiyan typically has what color hair?
Yellow.
That's right.
Yay!
He almost didn't let you finish that question.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Mason. The questions are edited.
I know.
There's a
but
lot
it
of
sounds
thinking and.
It sounds like she just pounced on that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, just like
Good
Chitin
call.
pounced
Good call.
on it. Yeah, good
I know.
call. It's a clean sweep now. You're like, okay, clean slate. It was 3 out of 5. Now you're 2 out of 3. About the same. How you feeling now? Good?
I'm feeling pretty good now.
Good. Here's your third question. The popular anime Fire Force features characters that loosely engage in what real-life occupation?
Ooh. This one, I don't know. But I would like to think she does, because I've never even watched Fire Force, and I know this. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm gonna say no, because I feel like because it's so easy, she's not going to.
Ooh, that
All right.
4D test.
All right, so she doesn't know. Is that right?
Yes. No,
right.
She doesn't know.
Let's fucking go. The popular anime Fire Force. You don't know shit, Mom. Features characters that loosely engage in what real-life occupation? Miss it.
Firefighters.
Oh, that's right.
Fuck. Oh.
Woo!
Oh my god, she's all
Oh my
happy.
god, your mom. I love it.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, okay. Well, now I'm sure you're not feeling so good. But
Yeah.
you're not it's not like you're dead yet. Like you're still around. We're not going to bury you till you're dead.
Everything right.
Look, here comes question 4. You got to get it right. And if you do, you'll be in good shape. Are you ready?
Yes.
Sonic X was a TV anime featuring Sonic the Hedgehog and his buddies, each more or less featuring a different color. What color is Knuckles?
I'm
Knuckles.
gonna say.
Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna say yes on that because Sonic is such a well-known between game and show that it'd be hard not to know this one.
Mason's nodding in approval.
Listen, she got the colors on one of your other favorite shows in Dragon Ball. I like to think she'd also get the colors of one of your favorite properties in Sonic.
Yeah, but she's had a knack for not knowing colors in the past.
If you can't believe in Betsy, who can you believe in? That's what I say every morning when I wake up, at least, so.
All right, am I locking you in?
Yes.
All right. Sonic X was a TV anime featuring Sonic the Hedgehog and his buddies, each more or less featuring a different color. What color is Knuckles?
Knuckles was orange.
Nope, that was Tails.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, heck.
Knuckles is red.
I got them mixed up.
Oh, heck. Caroline knew better.
At least you died with honor, okay? At least you died with honor. We'll give you a good burial. We'll fire some rifles off.
Do we give him a Viking funeral? You have to throw him off, like push him off of a boat and set it on fire.
Yeah, we'll fire an arrow at it. I'll probably miss. You'll get eaten by seagulls probably. I'm sorry. So we'll let Mason do it. He's got a better chance of hitting you with an arrow, especially with that hair. He pretty much looks like Legolas. All right. All right, Kyton. Well, we're going to cut you loose, but hey, I appreciate that you played with us today and you made the podcast a little better today, and that was the goal, and you did a great job, so thanks for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks. Sad.
We have one more question. Would you guys like to play the final question?
I think Caroline should play it. She's been more on it than I have.
I think Caroline's going to do this question, and if she gets it wrong, she has to eat 5 jelly beans.
All right, let's do it then.
Shield Hero is a currently airing anime featuring heroes that each use a different kind of weapon. What kind of weapon does the Shield Hero use?
How could she not get this? She needs to.
Listen, I try to make these questions pretty fucking easy. I'm trying.
It's in the question.
I try my hardest. It's like Fire Force. What occupation?
Ken's like, why didn't I get this one?
I think it's easy to think oh my god, it's a trick. It is one of those simple things that she has a knack for not really connecting the dots sometimes. But I think I just need to give some faith that she has paid attention to the question and that she'll get it. So I'm going to say that she knows it.
All right, here we go. Shield Hero is a currently airing anime featuring heroes that each use a different kind of weapon. What kind of weapon does the Shield Hero use?
Lightning.
What?
No, I'm sorry.
What?
He uses a shield.
What? Oh, I was going to say garbage can lid.
Betsy.
That would have been pretty close.
I'm sorry, what did she say?
Sorry.
That's how a lot of people feel about this anime, in fact. Garbage can.
Never heard of it.
All right, hold on a second. All right, well. Oh, boy.
Caroline's face. Stunned.
Where did she get lightning
from? 2 shreds, you say.
I don't know.
It's not a weapon! Oh, my God.
I mean, Zeus begs to differ. You can
make the argument that a shield isn't a weapon either, but at least say something like sword, arrow, lightning.
Wow. See, it's not such an easy game.
Wild. See, but if you think you can do better, you come on Discord and you send me a message saying, Mason, I think I can take down Mitsu's mom. I think I can defeat her in armed combat. And we'll add you to the queue and see if you can do better. But props to Kyton. He was punctual. He was on time, which is the same word. Why am I repeating myself? But he was great. So thanks for playing. So you just gotta have a good mic, be able to show up on time, and you too can challenge the gods.
And he just thanked me for having him on. So he's also very polite.
Yes.
Are you guys ready for mailbags?
As I chew down 5 jelly beans, sure.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Mailbag.
Besides participating in Does Mitsugi's Mom Know, you can also participate in the segment by going to our website at AAApodcast.com. At the top, there's a little thing that sends you to our mailbags, and you can write whatever your little heart desires. We got 2 of them today. The first one comes to us from Hobgent, who writes, I know everyone obviously hums the Cowboy Bebop theme when making breakfast, but I'm curious as to which anime themes find their way creeping into your everyday activities. Keep up the great work, guys. Kara, you're chewing on gummies.
Yeah.
Mitsugi, what songs pop into your little cranium on the daily?
Well, I don't think really a whole lot, to be honest with you. Some of the initial D music while I'm driving, maybe, or when I'm trying to freak out Pancake in the car. Some of the Escaflowne stuff, maybe, but other than that, I don't think there's really a whole lot. I'm more likely to get video game music stuck in my head than as opposed to anime music, but it's about all I got for you.
Nice. For myself, some of the Monogatari openings are pretty well wedged in there. Kill la Kill's Don't Lose Your Way is like so deep in my bloodstream at this point that I don't think it'll ever leave. And just because it's my ringtone on my phone, Penguin Drum's like rock and roll transformation sequence, I hear that all the time now. So those are a couple that I just don't think I can ever escape from. Now, Caroline, it's your turn.
Yes, I finished chewing my...
Sorry. I was like...
It's okay. Well, as I've talked about in the radio hour, I'm constantly like singing different anime themes and all that. But in terms of maybe like soundtrack songs, I would definitely be, humming along to things from Your Name and Sangatsu no Lion and Made in Abyss, just because they have a more chill vibe that kind of adds another, like a soundtrack to me just trying to get work done and all that, you know?
Yeah, very nice. The next question comes to us from Babasaur. They write, Hello, Anime Addicts. I was wondering what anime character or characters you would pick to represent your fellow co-hosts. Keep up the good work, and thanks for all you do. P.S. Moe is trash.
Yes.
I think his name's supposed to be Bobasaur.
Is that...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Not Babasaur?
No.
Bobasaur.
Bobasaur.
Like Boba.
I like Bobasaur. I'm sticking with that.
Oh,
no, you're definitely right. It's definitely supposed to be Bobasaur.
Bobasaurus, can he? Bobasaurus.
I figured his name was Bob, but it could be Boba, and they don't go by Bob at all. Caroline, who is Mitsugi?
I thought long and hard. Unfortunately, I think I'll come up with a better combo maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely characters that best represent you two, but I could not think of them. So this is the best I got for now. Mitsugi, I think, is a combination of King from One Punch Man, because, he got the muscles, he likes his video games, and Somaji Kawamoto, the grandfather from Sangatsu no Lion. Because he's a curmudgeon. He's always like, well, back in my day. And then, like, saying, like, these newfangled technology the kids are playing these days, it's silly, and things back in the day were better. I feel like that combination of character is what would best be representative of you.
I feel like you just made me really ugly.
Goodness.
He's not ugly.
Well, this King guy's ugly as shit.
We're not talking about we're not talking about like the complexion. I'm just saying because he's supposed to be big and muscly, and you're muscly.
Here's a picture of King and with Jason Statham next to him, and they're saying if Jason Statham was King in the live action, if they make a live action One Punch Man, it'll be fucking horrible. I just wanted to just saying that now.
Have they not already made a one live action?
I don't know. I hope not. There's enough dirt on One Punch Man's grave after that second season. All they need is a god awful live action to just end that one mercilessly.
I guess.
Did you have one for Mason?
Oh yeah. Sorry. And for Mason, again, I feel like I can come up with a much better one. But Aikawa Fudo from Love After World Domination, because he's all about fitness. He brought out some like protein powder once before, and actually I was kind of considering him for you. But I don't know, kind of works for Mason too, because he's also a little bit I don't know what the word is. In terms of romance, as Mason put it himself, he's not exactly on the ball.
I'm not as learned in the ways as you. Yes. You'd be upset if you were compared to this guy, Mitz, so.
And before people say like, "Oh, that's mean. You shouldn't have like that's not a good comparison for Mason." Mason said it himself. I was considering Aikawa Fudo for Mitsugi because of the whole protein powder thing, but Mason said, "Actually, I think I'm more like him," so that's why I went with.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't really eat a lot of protein powder. My strategy is to just not buy things that don't have a lot of protein. So pretty much everything in my house is loaded with protein. For me, I picked Makoto Tachibana from Free for Mason. He's got the physique. He's got the hair. He's a smexy boy, and it just seemed to fit perfectly. The best pick for Caroline, Mason already stole it. So, which made me very sad. So I picked Koto, who is the cat girl announcer of the Dark Tournament and Yu Yu Hakusho, because she's like, she's all like happy and she's very chipper and she's like a cool announcer girl for the crowd. So, that was my pick.
So you picture me as a cat girl, huh?
I picture you as an announcer.
Thanks.
How about you, Mason?
Yeah. So for Caroline, I was torn between Uraka Ochako from My Hero Academia. Just like with the bangs, the hairstyle, like visually, it struck me in the same way. Mixed, because she's kind of a pushover, and you're not. So it's like her.
Oh no, I'm a definite pushover.
I think you are you have a little more of a backbone than her. You're not a side character in the same way. So it's her mixed with Minari Koda from Wave Listen to Me. Obviously, the radio action, just this, mostly docile, nice person, but when you get her going, she just can rip you a new one. So I think those two together, that Venn diagram, you're right in the middle.
All right, not bad.
And for Mitsugi, you got to go with Vegeta. For obvious reasons. I feel like I don't even need to explain it, but
He's pretty cool.
He's strong. He's real strong, but he's got a lot of passion in him. Let's leave it at that.
I've been feeling real strong lately. My food is up, my weight's up, my weightlifting is up, everything's up.
Nice.
Confidence is up. Okay. Well, we have now reached, finally, by the way, I guess we didn't need a whole lot of time to review this anime, to be honest, but,
yeah, we're gonna rip through this.
In the land of Leadale, as it is said in the dub, so I would just stick, I used to said Leadale until I watched the dub, and then I now say Leadale. It's a spring 2022 anime. I tried to get rid of this one. I did fail it. The listeners picked it. And I gotta say, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Like, why would you fucking pick this?
Whoa, why are you putting the horse before the cart that's about to run it over?
All right, so I watched it on Crunchyroll, I think. It is dubbed. There's a girl named Kana Kagami who is a real world girl, and she plays the VR MMORPG Leadale for something like 20,000 hours. They reveal later in the late in the anime, which is ridiculous. I think it's pretty much impossible. After the life support system keeping her alive fails, after the hospital, like her city, loses its power, she's reincarnated in the body of her high-level character Kana, and she notices that the world of Leadale is different than what she remembers when she was playing it, and she comes to learn that like 200 years have passed since she was in the world last, and so, but she's just excited to be in the world and, exploring or whatever. Done by Studio Maho Film, of I'm Standing on 1 Million Lives, and director Yuji Yanase, who directed In a Different World with My Smartphone and a bunch of hentai stuff. And it is based on a light novel. Now, Mason, expectations going in. It's an isekai, so what were your thoughts here?
Yeah, so this is an isekai, cross #1 mark against it. It's from a newish studio that has never really done anything I've been interested in. Cross #2 against it. And it has a dumb name, so no, it's didn't know how to say it. But, I come in, I try to act as your foil sometimes, Mitz. If you really like a show, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to really bring out the flaws in it. If you really hate a show, I'll be like, well, no, there's some good things, and I can argue against it. So I was coming in ready to be like, okay, Mitz hates the show. I gotta find the good in it. I gotta find what's good about it. So that's what I was coming into the show with.
All right. How about you, Caroline?
Well, you did not give it a raving review when we first did the impressions on it. And unfortunately, that did not really give me a lot of expectations for this. I was definitely going in thinking that this is going to be just another isekai, probably maybe with a couple of positive points, but overall nothing to be really excited about. I also wanted to look up to see like what other shows this one passed against for the listener choice, and to be honest, there wasn't really a whole lot to pick from that we didn't pick already. So I guess I was going to say like, oh my god, what did this get chosen over? And I guess there wasn't really too much that could have gotten chosen over, but yeah, I was not really going in with high expectations.
As for me, I knew what this anime was. I knew it was a boring, aimless mess, which is why I failed it. Now, the question is everyone going to agree with me? Because I would not recommend this anime. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it doesn't really offer anything that... The only thing this anime really offers is that it does a decent job with making you feel like they're playing a game. They do stick with like the stats and the levels, and they're talking to other players, and she's like, "Oh, I know you. You're this person," and they they'd have conversations about like their characters, and it really gives you the sense that like she's actually playing a game. But there are other anime that do that. Like Dot Hack does that probably better than anybody, for sure. Dot Hack even goes so far to have like people logging out and logging in and stuff like that. So this anime doesn't really offer anything that would really require you to watch it. The action's not good, not really stellar. There's no conflict really. The content is kind of meandering. The character designs are mid, I guess, and it just doesn't offer a whole lot other than just like if you have like an unquenchable thirst for just isekai fantasy shows and you must watch every single one, then I guess this works for you. But it's pretty much paint by numbers isekai, but with like less budget and less interesting content. So no, I would not recommend. Mason, how about you?
This show is an easy watch, and it's just a lighthearted adventure with really no stakes involved. And it doesn't present itself as more than it is. It knows what it is, and it commits to that. It's not trying to be some grand, deep philosophical thing, and it's not super intense or violent or like. It knows what it is, and it hits that mark. So it feels wrong to be like, get up in arms or angry about it, because, well, that's not what it's going for. It just is what it is. That said, the show is just absolute butt cheeks. It's so bad. Please don't watch the show. And if you do, please don't enjoy it. And if you did, just let me know why, because I can't fathom what there is redeeming about this. So the show is not good. Don't watch it.
Caroline, how about you?
I'm not as jaded by the isekai worlds as maybe you, Mitsugi. And sometimes I can find some really good ones. Like, I really love Bofuri, and that's not really an isekai, but it is one of those one of those video game isekais. You can do it right. And it doesn't even have to be all that exciting. Bofuri is not an incredibly exciting show. It's a slice of life. But it's still kind of fun. So it can be done. This doesn't have to be like a big drama. It didn't have to be a big action series like Shield Hero to be interesting. But at the very least, that's not what the show is. It's like just meandering, and it doesn't have good characters. Kana is horrible.
She's Zeus.
Like she ranges from horrible to okay, and that's not a good range. She is a massive brat, and I really love reading comments on the streams of episodes. A lot of people love the show, and I'm not entirely sure why, but it's great for them if they do. They found something they like. But even so, people will be like, Kana really is a massive brat, and then people will defend her because she's like, well, she's a teenager, and well, she's been cooped up in a hotel room her entire life. Well. I'm like, that is a stupid defense. Like, you can be stuck in a hotel room your entire life and not be a massive brat. There's just, even with unlikable characters, sometimes you can find something likable in a show with unlikable characters. This is not it. And unfortunately, I can't recommend.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go to spoilers for some deeper discussion. So if you haven't seen this anime yet, you may want to turn the podcast off now. If you don't really care, then you feel free to stick around.
Spoilers
Listen to our
are
roast.
coming. Oh my god!
My thought I kept having this thought that like Kana is basically Zeus. Everybody in this anime is like her daughter or her grandson or fucking. It's just crazy. Like I feel like every character in this is related to her. Did you guys pick that up?
It's that expansive. I think. Okay, so she has 3 kids. One of them had 2 kids. And that's basically it. And then she adopts a daughter.
That's not.
I don't think it's.
But that's like half the cast.
Dramatic. Well, yeah, that's because those are the only characters that they focus on.
I get what you're saying, Mitz, and I do, to give the show credit, I like the fascination of a story of this MMO world that's like forsaken by the players. Everyone went in and left, and in the absence of that power vacuum, you have these like godlike legends of their might, and that's cool. And like you said, that kind of lends to the Zeus like mythology of this crazy witch that had all these powers, and how like their actions in game transform the world to what it is today. I think that's a cool concept.
I thought that was good too.
That said, I think the problem with Kana is she comes in and she's like, "Oh, this." I feel like if it was just a video game, like in video games, you can go around and you can bop people in the head and attack NPCs and do whatever because it's a game. And she kind of treats it that way, and like she bops people in the head all the time. But then she's also like, "No, this is reality.
Yeah.
We got to not cause havoc," and then goes on to cause havoc.
She's a massive hypocrite. That's one of her biggest perks.
And go ahead, because I agree.
Yeah. Like, one example of being a massive hypocrite is that we meet this one previous player. Like, the first character that she meets that was a player back when she was a player. And unfortunately, he's become a bit of a villain. And unfortunately, they don't really do much with that. She just beats him up because she's OP as heck. And she says, "This is real life. This is reality now." And he's like, "No, it's just a game. Shut up." and because he's a kid, she recognizes that he is probably a kid playing this game. And then she goes like, we can't have player killers here. But I don't think he's killed any players like in this game because there's hardly any. He's mostly killing NPCs.
Yeah, that's true.
And even so, he doesn't seem to be conscious of the fact that this is indeed they're not just playing the game anymore, they are actually stuck in there. He doesn't seem to be conscious of that fact. And then she's about to murder him. Like, put justice on him. And yet, right before this all happens, she is, like, degrading him over how he's been killing players. Like, come on, Kana. I realize that you might have a little bit of a justification, but it's not that much to completely do a 180 and decide to exact justice on him by killing him.
She's also a terrible mother.
Oh my god,
just like Zeus. Just like Zeus. Mitz nailed it. That's a fair point.
Like, the moment they bring in this cute little girl to become her new daughter, I'm thinking to myself, how many years are going to pass before after she's like the cute little girl, that she's going to abuse her daughter like she abuses her current daughter and her 2 other sons?
Yeah, I didn't want to jump like too far ahead.
Sorry, yeah, I know.
That's a fair point. So there's this girl who's like left alone, abandoned in this village that got taken over by like zombies. And she's like, "You're going to be my daughter now." Like, we get no story or character or anything to this kid. She's just now her daughter. And I think it's kind of funny in a very problematic kind of way, where like we have all these shows where males get isekai'd and they get a harem of girls. We get a female isekai'd and they get a family of children. Like, and she's like, "Oh, like the towers didn't achieve any goals. I wasn't happy until I had kids. Like, now that's the first time I've shown emotion. Like, this is really what peak feminine goals are, is just having children. That's really what we wanted this whole time." It's like, is that really what we're going for here? Is that... I don't like that. I don't like that too much. It's weird. It's bad. It's real bad. Why are things like this? Oh my goodness.
Because it's Japan.
But like, what?
Pretty
Why
much.
watch this show? Because like
there's no reason to.
The world isn't interesting. Just because you take a bite of food and say, "Oh, it's delicious, oishi," that's not world building. That doesn't make me believe your world is believable.
I don't think she's ever ate anything in this show and didn't go oishi.
Yeah, every character does it. Like that doesn't make me be like, "Oh, this really is a real world." Like you look at Log Horizon, like they use food as a way to make it believable, making a whole structure on it, a whole arc, a whole way of life, and that makes
Realist
me feel
Hero
real.
had more story behind food than this one.
Yeah, it's like the world isn't interesting. The characters certainly aren't interesting. There is no plot, like there is no motivation or quest, and that's fine. I like slice of life. Caroline mentioned it, like both three. Like that tells a story without a huge thing. That's fine. That's fine. But what's left? The comedy, the vibe, like none of that was here. This show just absent for everything.
The biggest, longest running joke is just how she can't hold her alcohol. She's like, I'm never gonna drink again. I'm never gonna drink again. I am never, ever, absolutely to infinity, ever going to drink alcohol again. And she does it like every single time. And it's this is
comedy.
It wasn't funny the first time. It wasn't funny the first time. It wasn't funny the literal 10th time in the final episode. And we're still, this is the biggest joke in this show.
You know what? The biggest problem with some of these isekai shows is that the characters are so overpowered that there's nothing interesting in it. So, like, I used to play a lot of MMOs when I was little. I used to play Ultima Online. It's like the first MMO. And I remember, like, hunting, killing just, like, orcs for hours to get gold. And I'd be carrying, like, a ton of gold. And then, like, some guy would come along, he'd try to kill me and take my gold, right? And I would be running away because I wasn't much of a PvPer and my internet was sucked. So, there's a lot of, like, urgency. And you don't want to waste all your time, waste your gold, because they'll loot you and take everything, your armor, everything. And so some of these games actually have some penalties for dying. Like there's stakes, right? This anime has no stakes. Kana is so powerful that nothing in it is interesting. Unlike Jobless Reincarnation, where Rudy gets his ass handed to him a few times, even though he is pretty powerful. She is so overwhelmingly strong in this that it has absolutely no room for any kind of excitement and action whatsoever. I recall an episode where these 10 golems, rock golems, are walking at this town, and the rock golems can't be beaten by the guards of the town because all they have are arrows, and the one girl can use a fire sword attack, but ultimately it's pretty ineffective. And that paints an interesting sort of situation because you're like, ooh, these rock golems are going to waste all these fucking people. All these soldiers are going to die. Like what's going to happen here? That to me, that's interesting. But then Kana comes out and she's just snaps her fingers and they all die. And I'm just and then she goes and she does the same thing to the person who summoned them.
Oh,
and it just takes out
another point.
Anything that could be interesting.
She's just so smug about it too. It's like, that was nice work, but let me show you how it's done. And then she completely decimates them. Even though she basically played with these guys' lives, just like the player killer did. And that's another reason why she's a hypocrite. It's like, you were going to leave them to die just because you didn't want to let your name get worn out or something like that. You didn't want to get attention on you, it made no sense.
She's just so vapid.
Yeah, and she keeps on doing that. It's like, she has the biggest smirk on her face. We act as if this character is not a complete, smug, wanting to show off person, but she does it every single episode.
Well, I'll tell you right now that they said in the game that she had played for at least 20,000 hours, and assuming 8 hours a night for sleeping, that's 3.4 continuous years of playing, doing nothing else. So I'm sure at this point there's probably people on World of Warcraft that have done that. But you better be fucking good at it by then, or you've wasted your whole goddamn life. You have nothing to show for it. So
I mean, her being overpowered and confident in that ability doesn't bother me. That's a fine power trip, and she has these cool gadgets and can engage with the world like no one else can.
It's fucking lame.
It's not interesting, but it doesn't be breaking immersion. But and you can tell a story that is a comedy focused thing because she's just trying to have a laid back thing. She goes to these towers not because she's on a quest, but she's just like, I might as well do it. I don't have anything else to do. Like, it doesn't have melodrama. Like, it's not annoying. It's just drab and boring. And I think if the writing and like dialogue was better, you could have some better comedy or interactions. But because the dialogue is so like uninteresting, it makes you have to lean on a story or fights to bring up that interesting. And that's where it's so lacking in that too, that it's just dropping the ball everywhere.
I don't even know why they bother trying. It's like, I don't know, summon God himself. She'll still kill him in one hit. You know, in the most uninteresting way possible. So, but yet I'd say a third of this anime is at least combat related. You know, it's the fucking player killer, the golems, the dragon, the whatever. It doesn't matter. She's invincible. So I don't understand the point of any of it.
Yeah, and then there's also the fact that like there are so many situations that they find themselves in. It's like, oh no, how is this going to work? Oh no, like what can we do here? And then I'm thinking like, well, Kana just used a spell like 10 minutes ago that would be very useful here. So why doesn't she just do that? And she's like, ooh, I'm not entirely sure what to do in this situation. Oh, how about this other spell that is going to solve the situation? I'm like, you just used the spell. Like you did not have to think about it that hard.
She has every spell.
Yeah, and yeah. So and there was another thing I want to mention, but if somebody else is going to.
No, go for it.
During watching this, I felt like there were so many small things that they could have done to make this way more interesting. And I think at the very beginning, if I were to make this anime better, even though I think that's a very big-headed thing
impossible.
to say. What if this was not a VR MMO game that she was playing? It was just a regular MMO game that helped her pass time in the hospital, and the only thing that the thing that she loved doing in the hospital and all that. And then she again dies because that's possible for a power outage in a hospital to completely kill you. That's they have generators, people, and they have batteries. So yeah, she dies. And then she wakes up, but this is the first time that she feels like she can like run and play and actually, live life in this video game. And then she can, make all these discoveries by herself. Like, oh my gosh, I never thought this would be possible outside of a hospital and that kind of thing. I feel like that would be a lot more interesting to her character for her to explore in a way that she has never done before previously because she's been in a hospital her entire life. But no, we just had to say oh no, I'm trapped in a VR MMO. And this is all very...
that's just how it is.
Samey to me.
They don't engage with the setup of her being deceased or hospitalized for who knows how many years before this. Like, there's no emotional weight to any of it.
They do hint at maybe her death had something to do with the game being shut down. But...
Yeah, but, did that add anything?
I don't know.
No.
Probably
I mean,
not.
I thought when this first started... And I kind of like this. It had a moe blob, reaction face. They definitely leaned more into the comedy in the first couple episodes, which I thought was kind of cool and neat, and it just added flavor. And it also meant if they were doing that, there wasn't atrocious CG on screen, so I was cool with it. But they kind of faded the moe blob away, which you're like, great. They don't use this crummy looking moes, but now it just. There was no visual, fluff. There was nothing. It was just all, bland, consistent, tiring visuals that looked not good at all. The color palette, the details, they were all just so amateurish. So, I was missing the moe blob because there was nothing else to break up the consistency. And it was just bad and bland.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to talk again about their absolute failure at comedy because I just remembered that there are so many points in the show where they try to make funny situations happen, but I just don't get it. The whole, okay, so we got the kid. Got a little kid that's running away from Lonty or whatever Lottie, whatever her name is. And she is trying to call out to him. I guess he's a prince, and she says "Prince," and she doesn't finish the word because she doesn't want people to know that she's a prince or he's a prince. Yeah. And this all became a joke to Kana, who started calling him Primo, which is freaking. I don't. The joke, the basis of the joke did not carry over to the subtitles. And all this time, I'm like thinking to myself, wait a minute. She thinks that he's a prince. I don't think he's a prince. It kind of just sounds like they're trying to kidnap this kid. This one kid in particular. Because I'm like, is he a prince? I don't think so. But apparently, like several episodes later, I find out that he is a prince. And she still calls him Primo for some reason. That doesn't make any sense. And not only that, but there's also a princess. And I mentioned this to you guys when I watched the episode, that they come in contact with a dragon, and Kana gives him the command of Chin Chin, which I guess is heel, but also means penis.
Chin Chin, baby. Chin Chin. Yeah. Dick.
And they don't show it on screen, his penis, but the princess and Lottie, whatever her name is, are making, like, they're all blushed, and they're like, oh my god, a dragon's penis.
Well, if you look at, they don't show it, but they show, like, his tail, like, where it would be, and they're like, oh, it's so massive, how could you miss it? As they, like, blush, and it's like, why did this need to happen?
It's such a bad joke, and then they follow it up with an even worse joke that makes no sense. When the princess says, I've never seen one before. I mean, apart from my brother and my father, and they just brush over it.
Next scene.
That is a whole bag of worms that we just, or can of worms that we just opened.
Well, it's one single worm.
Shush, Mason.
Sorry.
And then they just shoved the can of worms under the I don't know, into the closet or something, and they closed the door. And then we're not even going to make that joke happen, no matter how bad of a joke it is. We're not going to continue with that. I'm like, why did that need to happen? I'm just so confused.
Well, to me, the biggest issue was the story. It was totally meandering. They throw that little kid in at the end, like, as an afterthought, and she soaks up the whole last 2 episodes, and it's just like, they don't even care. I guess it's supposed to be, what, slice of life, right? So it doesn't matter, I guess, but it's just fucking, there's no point to any of this.
Mm-hmm.
As usual.
Do you like the Teletubby part where they went back and just re-talked to the same characters again for no reason? Be like, hey, remember? I'm the little kid from episode 1. Hey, remember me? I'm the Tower Guardian from episode 1. Hey, remember me? I'm the barkeeper from episode 1. Hey, remember me? I still don't drink alcohol. Psych, I drink alcohol again. Like, again, like this. I don't know. It was.
And at the end of episode 12, Kana literally says, and I send you the screenshot, so much has happened in such a short time. That is the biggest lie in this entire anime. Yeah. Nothing happened. And it felt like it happened forever.
Well, guys, I
don't have anything else.
I tried to get rid of it.
Yeah, you tried.
I mean, the OP is not good. It was very annoying.
Oh, God, it's bad.
I even had a guy in the Discord tell me he dropped it after the OP because it was so obnoxious.
Because they lead off with the OP, watching it, and I immediately disliked it. And I will say the OP captures the show well in how bad it is. Like, it fit. Like, if you watch the OP and you're like, okay, it seems kind of fun, I'm down. Like, you'll probably like the show. If you're like, wow, this OP added nothing to my life as a human on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt about this show.
Yeah, just not good, honestly. So, I'll give it a score. I think that I didn't hate everything about the way that the show went. You know, I watched it at work dubbed. It went quickly. There were moments of where I enjoyed it. I would say probably my favorite thing about the anime, like I said, was just how they made it feel like it was really a game they were playing. You know, they're continually mentioning players she'd played with before. She's always evaluating their levels, all this stuff. I appreciate that. But ultimately, the show just doesn't bring anything to the table. It's a total waste of time. It's disappointing in that way. I guess it's supposed to be like the slice of life VR MMO game, but, you know, I don't know. It's just not hitting the mark, and I'm going to give it what I imagine might be the highest score of the day. Let's see. I don't fucking know. 2 overpowered spells out of 5. She's fucking annoying. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Two 1,000 people that are directly related to her by blood out of 5 because she's fucked everybody in this game, and now everybody's her kid.
An exaggeration.
Every single character is her fucking kid, or a grandkid, or a great grandkid, or a nephew, or a niece. Everybody.
What about the Leadale Jeff Bezos?
Who the hell is that?
That's the. They made a couple jokes about this store being like Amazon. And it's like the little mouse character where it's part of the caravan that she goes on a journey with.
I don't know. Fuck him. Fuck Jeff Bezos. I give it a 2 out of 5.
Caroline, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. You know me, I love ranting, and I feel like there's even more I could rant about, like how she is, like Kana will just get angry over nothing and everything at the same time. Like, if people say, wow, you're so scary, and we're going to call you, like, the witch of the white ring, or whatever the name was. And she'd be like, you said what? And then they're like, oh, no, we're just kidding. We actually, like, you are actually the nicest, sweetest. You would never hurt a fly, blah, blah, blah. And you're
Grandmother, don't beat my ass.
Yeah, and she would get angry at that, too. She gets angry at everything. She gets angry at her children for showing affection towards her.
And then my children act the way that I made them and then abandon them for.
Get your kisses away from me, you fuck.
It's like she will send out death vibes to her children across miles every single episode. And Kana is just the center, the nucleus of a really awful cell. It's just boring. The characters are not great across the board, including Kana. I feel like there were so many better things that they could have done with it. I guess the IRL player interactions in the middle were okay. It gave you a slight reprieve, but honestly, it was not as much as I would have liked. There's just so many other things that are better worth your time. And yet, it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. It was just a kind of a slog, to be honest. So I'm kind of going back between a 1.5 and a 2. And I forgot to, like, refer back to my previous scores of previous anime, because I think that would better make up my mind about it.
Oh, your heart.
Let's see, was it better than Remain?
Yeah, that's hard.
Or Benita?
I think it was boring, but I think I'd rather watch an episode of this than Remain. So,
okay.
If a 1.75 was possible, I would go with that. I think I'll just give it 2 dragon penises out of 5.
Oh yeah, big dragon cock.
Okay, that deserves a jelly bean.
Well, it was their joke, not mine. I've never seen such a big one before.
Lovely. This show definitely set out what it wanted to do, and it did it. Like, I just found it incredibly shallow and unrewarding. Like, it's not a challenging watch, and it did have a cool, like, Godzilla penguin creation process. So, just because of that, I'm giving it 1. I should be more angry about how bad it is, but I just got tired of being disappointed out of 5.
Well, not exactly good.
No, not really.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's the show, folks. Oh, yeah, I'm closing out today. I forgot. Well, that's the end of our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back next Sunday on Twitch to give you another great episode of the AAA podcast. So make sure you join us. And also check out our Twitter at AAA Podcast, our Facebook, AAA Podcast, our Discord. You can join us through our website, AAApodcast.com. Very easy. And, of course, our TikTok at @the_anime_addicts. And, hopefully we'll get all the great submissions of our waifus so we can get our waifu war going.
Yeah.
Please fill out our form.
I want to be able
and we'll have a great time.
I want to be able to announce the top, the top 3 seeds on each division. You know, I want to have the top 10 waifus for you. You know, for the bracket. So, and then I want people to start being able to fill out their brackets so you can win some money.
Ooh,
that's
we'd
right.
like that.
You do like money.
Right.
Oh, yes, and my final number of jelly beans I've eaten today, I have eaten
a lot.
30 jelly beans.
Ooh,
Woohoo!
we're doing numbers.
Yes. Let's see where we get to next week. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again sometime in the future.
Bye, guys.
See ya.